Kevin says, I have a 7-month-old site that only has 4 pages ranking, but I may be forced to give those pages a parent page, which would change the URL path of the ranking pages. I did a test, and it looks like WordPress 301 to the old URL to the new URL path after giving the ranking pages a parent page. But now I am confused as to what will happen to my rankings. Will the old path continue to rank, or will the old lose its ranking and the new paths take over the rankings? Kevin, it shouldn't make a difference. When you 301 an old to a new, you will see a little bit of movement. It's going to happen. There's no way around it. But the old URL will disappear and the new one will take over. It's not there's an old page and now there's a new page. If you just changed your URL structure and WordPress automatically 301'd it for you, which I would still set up my own 301 just to be safe, because sometimes that doesn't work. WordPress, the automatic 301 doesn't work sometimes. So I would still set up my own 301, but it's not like you have an old page and a new page. That's not how it works. The old page is now just got a new URL. So Google will refresh its index and it will just display the new URL. That's it. Okay. You will see some dancing. There's no question. You always do. But and you might lose a little bit of the inbound juice. Like, for example, I know Moz was talking about Rand Fishkin was talking about how he 301'd. They changed their URL structure on a post that had been ranking #1 for several years, and they changed their URL structure because they thought there was no way it would ever hurt it because it had been #1 for many years, for like 2 or 3 years or something. And they changed the URL structure and 301'd it, and it dropped down to like #7. And so there is a little bit of a loss there through the 301. There's no question, and you will see some dancing, but you can get that back. And if that's what you need to do, that's what you need to do. Should I resubmit my sitemap to Google so they can see the new URL path? Yeah, I mean, you don't need to resubmit. Google should crawl it anyways, but you can always ping the URL, or just take the new URL and go over to the Google Submit tool and submit it directly to be indexed. And you could just leave it alone. Google will refresh its index depending on what type of industry it's in. Some industries take a couple weeks to refresh the index. Sometimes it'll refresh almost within hours. Another thing you can do is tweet the new URL out if you've got a Twitter account with any real activity. That'll get the bots crawling it. Something like, again, a la Twitter SEO. Like, that's something that Twitter is really powerful for helping stuff do that. But you can just go to the submit URL. Guys, just go to Google and search, what is it, Google submit URL or crawl URL. Right there, guys. Just go to Google submit URL, click on that button, and go submit your new URL. It's direct to Google's index. It's real easy. All right. Also, I'm curious if I should continue to build links to the ranking pages using the new URL paths, or do I have to wait for the site to settle before building new links? I mean, I wouldn't go crazy, but I mean, if you're already in the middle of some sort of link campaign or something like that, I mean, there's no reason not to. There's no reason not to. You can just build to the new URL. You don't need to continue building to the old URL because it's 301 anyways. Just build directly to the new one.